What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I decided to cover the controversy facing GameStop and Robinhood, and obviously several related stocks like AMC, Nokia, and BlackBerry. Chamath Palihapitiya did an interview on CNBC, and he made fantastic points that I'm sure lots of retail investors had agreed with. And CNBC's problem in this video is that they think retail investors just go into stocks that have momentum and just buy blindly and don't do any analytical work before they are investing in a stock. And Chamath is backing up retail investors, saying the opposite. He's saying that they are doing the research, they are doing due diligence before they're entering stocks. So this interview explains a lot. I'm going to go ahead and watch this interview with you guys. I hope you guys can take away a lot. And at the end, we'll discuss what we got from this interview. And I want to hear you guys' feedback, comments, questions, what you guys think is going to happen in the near future. I think this is one of the best interviews of the year by far. And I think this interview will stay with us for a long time. And it's going to change a lot. I think lots of change will be coming in the near future. So let's go ahead and get started with this video.
Let me just go through a couple of things you said here. I have a hard time believing. I mean, you suggested that there's, a good amount of fundamental research going on underneath the GameStop Reddit situation. Do you truly believe that there's actual fundamental research? Not to disparage in any way the people who are actually making these trades, but this seems to be momentum rather than a deep fundamental analysis.
Scott, there's momentum in traditional hedge funds and how they move stocks as well. But it's really disparaging if the starting position is these guys can't do the same quality of research as an analyst in a fund. That's just not true.
I didn't say that. I didn't say they can't do that kind of research. I'm questioning whether they're actually doing the research when it comes to things like GameStop and AMC and some of these other things. There's
a distribution. And obviously at one end, there are fundamental analysts. But on the other end, there are momentum traders that follow trends. But by the way, the dirty little secret of Wall Street is that exists in hedge fund land. The reason why this GameStop trade has caused so much pain is because at the top of the pecking order was Melvin Capital. Those guys were incredible stock pickers. They are incredible fundamental modelers of companies. Okay, Gabe Plotkin is one of the sort of giants of our era, of my era, right? But at the end of the day, what happens is, irrespective of what he puts on, his trades are mimicked and copied by umpteen other hedge funds that follow along. For every LP that can't get into Melvin, they get into a copycat fund that works basically like Melvin. And so when the trade goes against him, then it goes against all these people all at the same time. So the reality is there are fundamental momentum investors in the market that are organized capital, i.e. hedge funds, and disorganized, loosely affiliated capital, i.e. WallStreetBets. And I think what you're seeing is the push and pull of that, and the realization should be that if every person was forced to publish their fundamental research, it would be hard to distinguish the best version of research from WallStreetBets and the best version of research from a hedge fund. They don't have an edge. And this is what you're exposing, is that edge is gone. And now all of a sudden, retail can be on the same footing, and they don't have to be the bag holder to Wall Street.
But let me ask you this. I mean, but somebody from retail is going to eventually be the, to use your words, bag holder in this situation. Are they not? And do you think it's responsible for you and some other big names who tweeted about it yesterday and to get involved yourself, knowing that you guys are considered the Pied Pipers, that people are going to follow you into these trades, and someone is ultimately going to get hurt after you and others are long gone, Chamath?
Dude, where was that message in 2008, Scott? Really? I mean, that's a joke. For example, let's look at Tesla. Who was right on Tesla? I'll tell you who was right. Every single retail investor. I was right. Elon Musk was right. Let me tell you who was wrong. Every single hedge fund. Name after name when it comes to innovation, when it comes to growth, when it comes to people trying.
I'm going to pause it here for a quick second. What's happening so far is that institutional investors are just upset and they're angry. They're losing money, and retail investors are finally starting to make money. The 1% stopped making money, and the rest of the people who have been losing money for years started to make a couple $100s, a couple $1,000s, and now they're getting upset that why is this happening? So who gets involved? The SEC, TD Ameritrade gets involved. These brokers are halting trading on these stocks just because the big guys are not making money. And that's such crap to me, which doesn't make any sense.
Trying to do fundamentally useful things in the world. If it doesn't fit into the mold that Wall Street wants, they try to organize against it. And there has been pushback after pushback after pushback in individual names, and this is yet another form of pushback. And all I'm trying to say is the mechanics of how Wall Street has worked. And again, I wish you would ask this detailed question. Why is it allowed for somebody running a hedge fund to basically claim that they are market neutral, but be levered up? They take a $10 billion fund, and their prime brokers allow them to run $100 billion of notional exposure. Who thinks that that's fair? It's not fair to the retail investor, because when that blows up and a $100 billion hole exists in a fund, which, by the way, this is exactly what happened in 2008, the government bails them out. Who is the government? All of us. So, retail has been the bag holder before. Retail hasn't caused these things before. Hedge funds have caused these things before. So if you're going to talk about taking the gun away from the baby, let's make sure we figure out who the baby is.
Yeah, but do you think that you helped fan the flames and others like you, whether it's, one of the Winklevi brothers tweeting about it, Elon Musk tweeting about it, that it's ultimately driving this stock up well beyond what the fundamentals say that it should be? I mean, I don't think you think, and you tell me, do you think that GameStop is worth $350 a share?
What I can tell you is that when I put that position on, $125,000 position, I used it to acquire knowledge and learning. And what I was trying to figure out is how these positions move in the modern trading era. And what I can tell you is, up until that point, the setup made no mathematical sense. How do you be short 140% of a company's shares? That wasn't retail.
Well, maybe that's a question for regulators, that maybe the way that's allowed to happen.
It's funny, the second Chamath asks him a question, he doesn't know the answer to it. Oh, maybe it's up to regulators. Come on, man. He asked, man.
It needs to be examined. But
I'll tell you how it's allowed to happen. It's allowed to happen so that hedge funds can charge 2 and 20 to their limited partners.
Exactly.
Independent of consequences. I'll tell you another way that it's allowed to happen. Hedge funds are allowed to take their money, go to a prime broker, and all of a sudden get 10x multiplication on that money. That's the problem. You have trillions of dollars of notional being traded by these organizations. You have maybe billions of dollars being traded by retail.
I want to get back to the issue at hand, which I don't feel like you answered the question. This idea of, somebody's going to get hurt. You sound like you're an advocate for the little guy, so to speak, right? But yet by getting involved, why did you get involved in the first place? I mean, you said that to get information. I mean, you wanted to make money on the trade. Come on, right? You wanted to make money.
To move the needle, I need to strap on hundreds of millions of dollars. So I wanted to learn. Why did I want to learn? When I saw that article in the Wall Street Journal, I had...
All right, folks, it's a long interview. I'll cut it short here. It goes on and on, what we're seeing here. So long story short, I mean, I love what Chamath said. I love his stance on backing up retail investors like you and I. If you're watching this video, you're watching it for a reason. I know lots of people lost a lot of money today. I know there's a huge sell-off in the market too. I think the sell-off that happened today hasn't happened since October of last year of 2020. We haven't seen a sell-off that big in a long time. I think that we'll continue to see a huge sell-off in the market. But if you are holding stocks, holding options, and you're in it long term, just sit tight, hold on. I think the market will bounce back up soon enough for you to eventually sell or just keep holding your stocks long term. I think what we'll see in the next few days, few weeks is new regulations coming out from the SEC. I think that unfortunately, the regulations will come to back up the 1% again. I just think that the 1% of people, these institutions, are so powerful that they influence everything. Like it's so bad where they had influence over brokers, which is scary to think about because our money is tied up into brokers. I myself don't use Robinhood. I use TD, but even with TD, they started to have restrictions, right? So Fidelity, TD, Scottrade, Charles Schwab, Robinhood, Webull, whatever broker you're using, they have some kind of influence over it, unfortunately. And it's scary to think that way because at the end of the day, they have more power because power, you get power with money. They have the most money, so that's where the power lies right now. But we need more guys like Chamath to come out and speak for retail investors. I think this interview, again, will last and be with us for a long, long time to come. I think that changes are coming, but I don't know if the changes will be good for retail investors. So let me know what you guys think below. Questions, comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think because this story is going to be going on for a long, long time. I think we're going to be dealing with this stuff for a while. And one thing I came across that I wanted to share with you guys is so Wall Street is allowed to manipulate, but the one guy on Main Street can't, right? So if you understood that, so the one retail investor, if wants to post a stock on Reddit and just share it with his colleagues and friends and get it pumped up, that's not allowed. But the second it comes to institutions doing it, hey, no problem, because they're the 1%. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, drop a like for me. I'd appreciate it a lot. Questions, comments, how you guys feel about this story, drop it down below. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe to my channel if you like and enjoy the content. And I'll be back with more content very, very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.